about to leave. Already packing, come with me. I'm not.
Hello friends and enemies, welcome back to Happy For Now. It's me Isabel here with May wrap up. I keep almost saying June. The last thing I want is June to be over already, so my May wrap up. I hope y'all are excited. I read a ton of amazing books in May, and I think my stats might surprise you. I did have a pretty busy reading month. I feel like overall, not too wild, but still pretty good. I mean, very good. But before we dive into my stats, I just want to give the reminder that I don't always remember to give. My reading is my reading and your reading is yours. And if you read 0 books, if you read 1 book, if you read 2, whatever the number, you did amazing. I'm so proud of you for reading, because sometimes that's half the battle. Also, Peas is yelling at me. Peas, come here. Also, just, you know, we all have different lives. We all have a different lifestyle. We all have different abilities to read. Like, the volume we can read is very different. And that's okay. Like, it's not a bad thing. You are, again, no lesser or than me if you read less or more or anything, all that. At the end of the day, we're readers and we like our books. So, in the month of May, I read 33 books and 2 webtoons, which I'm gonna start wrapping up my webtoons. Eventually, once I've read enough, I will do a rec video for y'all, because I'm really enjoying webtoons lately. I read 9,932 pages. I had an average rating of 3.97. I read 3 books from KU, 5 library books. I feel like it was probably more than that, but I probably didn't track all of them correctly. I had 3 rereads, 26 adult titles, and 7 YA titles. So of those 35 things I read, 7 were ebooks, 14 were audiobooks, 12 were manga, and 2 were webtoons. I also read 12 new to me authors, and I think I read like 1 or 2 debuts. But I realized this month, which freaking, I gotta go fix this, I wasn't tracking my debuts correctly. I have a little check mark box in my spreadsheet and I wasn't hitting that. So now I have to go back and like fix it. But let's go into all the books I read. So I will not be going in depth on any of the books I talked about in my mid-month wrap up. You can go watch that if you want more details on those books, because of the volume I read. It's just too much in one wrap up. I don't personally want to film and edit this at over an hour long, and I feel like that's what I would be doing otherwise. So I did not have any 1 or 2 star reads this month, thank goodness. I love when that happens, because I generally try to avoid books I'm not going to enjoy unless I'm reading them for like a goofy 24-hour video, etc. So none of those. For my 3 stars, we have 2 different 3-star reads. We have Dreams of a Dark Warrior by Cressley Cole. This was in my mid-month wrap up, and this is part of the Immortals After Dark read along. And I read last month's books like right before the live, which is what I usually do. I read them like the week, like right now as I'm filming this, I'm reading the books for the live on Saturday, because I like to be fresh with them before the live. And then I read Bewitching by Jill Barnett. So this I gave 3 stars. I got this for free, and this was on my Shay Picks My TBR video blog that I did, and this is one of the 5 books she picked for me. I liked it. There were parts of it I really, really loved, but there was some racism and ableism in this book that I found very unexcusable. I don't care that it came out in 1993. It just was a lot. I also felt like the book was just like overly long at the end of the day. So I ended up giving it a 3 star. Again, it was fine. I'm glad I read it. I will not be continuing the series though. Then I read Rule of Wolves by Leigh Bardugo. I was on Nicole Who Picked This Book's channel for a live show about this one, and I quite enjoyed it. I gave it 3.5. I just really like being in that world at the end of the day. I do think there are issues with it, don't get me wrong, but I just like being there, and that's part of the rating. Then I read The Hardest to Fall by Ella Mays. I'm really liking her as an author. I have basically read all of her backlist. I think I have 2 books to buy and read. I read everything she had on KU and in my hoopla in my town. So I'm very, very happy about that. I really, really enjoyed this. This is a fun one. Again, if you want full details, it will be in my mid-month wrap-up. Then I read The Highlander by Amy Jurecki. I really liked the setup for this. We had a blind heroine and a childhood friend and them kind of on the run together. She helps them like break out of jail. It was very, very good, very fun. But again, a struggle I'm having with historicals right now. It felt too long. Yet again, it felt too long. So I gave it a 3.5 because I did like it, and I would pick up another Amy Jurecki book again without like no hesitation. But it just, I am not in a historical mood lately, and this just reinforced it. This and Bewitching was like, we're not reading historical for a little bit. Then yeah, so this one was great. I really liked the adventure part of this, the only one bed stuck on an island together. All of that was great. It was good, it was cute. Like, it was just a cute Highlander romance. It was nothing like blow you out the water, and it was nothing like, if that makes sense. But I did enjoy the blind heroine representation happening in this book and how it was delivered. I cannot speak to the accuracy of it because I don't have that lived experience, but I felt like it was really interesting and it was fun to see done. Then I read Black Witch Magic by Mila Nix. This is from my Love in the Night readathon vlog, and this is also on Kindle Unlimited. This was fun. I had quite a good time. I think if I had approached this realizing it was more a cozy mystery vibe than a romance, I would have been a lot happier and probably given it a 4-star. But it still was really, really good. So this follows a witch by day, or a librarian by day. She had her grandma like cursed the town supposedly, and we're solving the mystery of what actually happened and what has been happening to men in the town randomly throughout the years since her grandma passed, and who it actually is. And this involves a guy who runs a paranormal investigation TV show on like YouTube equivalent, and yeah, it just was really fun to watch their adventure together. I think that it was just a smidge long for me, and again, I think I expected it to have a little more romance to it than it did. It's definitely a slow burn, so if you're looking for a slow burn, it could work. It's also set around Christmas, so if you want a holiday paranormal, this could be a great pick. Specifically if you want like a witchy Christmas book, because it literally takes place like the 2 weeks over Christmas and New Year's. The cat wants attention while I film. Go figure. Let's talk about all of my 4-star reads. First, from my mid-month wrap-up, we have Stolen by the Scottish Rogue by Madison Faye, Demon from the Dark by Cressley Cole, To Love Jason Thorne by Ella Mays, To Hate Adam Connor by Ella Mays, Cool for the Summer by Dahlia Adler, and When She's Ready by Ruby Dixon. All of these were delightful. Quite a few KU picks in there, some new releases. Definitely recommend Cool for the Summer for Pride Month. If you're looking for a bi heroine and learning about yourself and discovering sexuality stuff, it was delightful. I really enjoyed all of those, obviously. That's why they got 4 stars. Then I read Waking Up Married by Reese Ryan. This is part of her Bourbon Brothers series. I have not read any of them previously, so you definitely can go into this series with no backstory. This one is a friends to lovers, and I really liked it. And friends to lovers is not my favorite trope at all. So they had been friends for a long time, and it was them going together on a trip to Vegas. She decided she wanted a baby, and because of that, they kind of end up getting a little too having a little too much fun after his award ceremony and getting married. So they literally wake up in Vegas married, and I love this trope. I personally got married in Vegas, so I always enjoy a good Vegas wedding in a book. We don't get them enough. But yeah, so they wake up married, they end up going home, their family's ecstatic, they decide to stay married for a year and pursue having children because she really wants to have a child. She's just gonna do it on her own. And yeah, it's all about them finding each other, and it's just a very, very sweet book, and I really loved it. I think this is a great Harlequin to pick up if you're new to Harlequins as well, so definitely check out Waking Up Married. Then I read A Study in Scarlet Women by Sherry Thomas. For who picked this book, Nicole's book club again. I'm in like 3 in a row, sorry y'all. This was so fun. I gave this 4 stars. I have already checked out A Conspiracy in Belgravia to listen to. I'm hoping to get to it very soon. And I really, really liked this. I thought it was fun. I think I've only ever read one Sherlock story, which is like The Hounds of Baskerville, but I've watched plenty of adaptations. And I feel like I'm like familiar-ish with it all. And I do enjoy these kinds of characters. And I felt like Charlotte, our heroine in this, was just hilarious. Like, she was everything I wanted. So, had an absolute blast reading this. If you're interested in it and haven't picked it up yet, I definitely would. But I know, again, that these sort of books aren't always for everyone if you're not a big mystery reader, but y'all, it was so much fun. Next, I read Promised in Blood by Lilith Vincent. This is Brianna Hale's new pen name, and she is writing a mafia reverse harem. So, first things first, this is free if you're in her Facebook group, I think. She has like links up. And it's like a prequel novella for the series. Huge list of content warnings that I have up on my Goodreads review, and I will link to it in the description for you. I'm not going to go over them here, it's huge, but this is a very dark romance and I loved it. Holy crap, I blew through this. So this is like the prequel to the first book. She's 17, she finds out she's getting married. She's going to be married off to one of these guys next year. And it's like 4 different guys and they all like have a moment with her and they're all kind of terrible. And I loved it. So what's wrong with me? Again, not a book I'd recommend to everyone. Definitely not a book for anyone who is newer to dark romance or reverse harem stuff. I think it's probably gonna be too much for you. And I say that with love. So don't give it a go, but I really liked it and I'm really excited for the full book to come out in June, July, something like that. I'll put the date up here. Next, we have my 4.5 star reads, which I had 2 of and I'm so happy about. So first we have Twisted Love by Anna Wong. I loved this book so much, and I hope other people are picking up and really enjoying it. The brother's best friend, all that good stuff. It was so good. I cannot wait for her second book to come out this summer. I think this is just such a strong debut that I'm impressed. I'm just impressed. I do talk about it more in depth in my mid-month wrap-up, and I rec it in Brother's Best Friend if you're curious. Then I read Dark Song by Kristen Feehan, which I gave 4.5, I decided. This was so good. So this follows Pharaoh and Elizabetta? Is that her name? I don't remember her name. Anyways, it follows these two and she like has been kidnapped and abused and tortured, and she like goes to ground, like literally underground, to like heal, and he's helping her come out and he sings her awake every morning, and this was stunning. Absolutely stunning. I loved it. He full on is a like I will kill anyone for you kind of guy, and I love them, but he's not the I hate everyone but you kind of hero. He's just like, I will kill for you, and we love, and I personally love a I will kill anyone for you kind of hero in my romance books, especially in paranormals or like mafias and darker romances. It's just my favorite thing. I have an id and it's fine. Yeah, this was so good, so delightful, such a wonderful book to read. I'm so glad Shay picked it for that video because I don't know if I would have picked it up otherwise. I know she has talked about it extensively on her channel, but I find it really hard to, I say this, but then y'all are gonna yell at me in a minute. It's fine. I usually find it very hard to dive into a series without guidance from someone that far in, but she said that you could start here or Dark Carousel. So if you're interested, it is worth your time. Shall we talk about my 5-star reads? First up, we have all the ones I talked about in my mid-month wrap-up, which is Lothair by Cressley Cole, and then Legend Born by Tracy Dion, and I loved both of these immensely. Such great books. We get a little L theme going on from the mid-month, and both of them are great. Next, we have Brother Song by TJ Klune, which I did read for Love in the Night. I listened to this on audio via my Hoopla, and what do I say about this book? I mean, it was a beautiful conclusion to the series. I cried twice, and I don't usually cry during books, so that happened, and I loved it. I loved it immensely. I think that this was one of the best things I've read this year so far, possibly. It could be a 6-star, I'm not positive. Like, I have my 6-star for like my favorites, and I keep struggling to be like, is this a 5 or a 6? So I have to like sit with it a bit, and if I keep thinking about the book, it's gonna be a 6-star. So by the end of the year, it may be a 6-star read. Yeah, if you haven't read the Green Creek series, I highly recommend it. The writing is very different though. Like, it's kind of lyrical, it's kind of poetic-y prose happening on the page, so you may not connect with the writing style, so just be prepared for that. I personally really loved it, but they do take me longer to listen to or read because of the writing style, so that is a thing. Next we have Heart of Obsidian by Nalani Singh. So this is book 12 or whatever in Psy-Changeling, the first one I've read. I was convinced I had read Slave to Sensation, but it turns out I haven't. But I dived in here because it had every single trope I love, and I thought, well, let's try it and really make a decision if we're gonna read this giant series. And I'm gonna read this giant series. I was so sold on Caleb and Sahara in this book that all I want to do is go read the other like 11 books and get back to their story and reread it. This is my favorite, no doubt, 100% my favorite book in the series probably. I don't know how anything will overtake it because this had all of my ids right on the page and I just absolutely adored it. All right, now it is time to talk about my manga reads. Y'all, I did not read a ton of manga this month. I feel like I was recovering from 30 and 30, but that's okay. I'm very excited. I have quite a few mangas lined up for June, so it's gonna be cool. But I am gonna do that in this video. And then at the end of Q2, I will do a Q2 log. For manga, in my mid-month wrap-up, I talked about The Honey Blood Beauty and Her Vampire Volume 1. I gave this 3.5 stars. It's really interesting. It's very different. I need to pick up a digital. I think it's only available digitally right now. I need to pick up volume 2 and 3 and see what I think of them when 3's out. And then I'll make a decision if I'm going to continue reading the series or not. It's very weird. It has like kind of bully romance vibes, but I'm here for it. Then for the 4 stars of May, I read She's My Knight Volume 1, which I also talked about in my mid-month wrap-up. This is a very cute shoujo manga where the heroine is taller than our hero and like they just have really funny, cute moments together constantly that are very like rom-com-y. Then I gave 4 stars to Thigh High Volume 1, which is one of the weirdest. Okay, I haven't bought Dick Fight Island yet, but this is one of the weirdest ones I've read so far, and I loved it. It was so fun. I also gave 4 stars to Nina and the Starry Bride Volume 1. This is a mistaken identity / like pretend to be someone you're not situation. And we have some reveals about the prince, and I already picked up Volume 2 and cannot wait to dive in. I also read Volume 10 of Comey Can't Communicate, which I gave 4 stars to, and I felt like the story was slowly turning around a little bit more for me. And I did return everything I had checked out for Comey, and I think in July or August I'm gonna come back to it and make a decision because I'm just not sure still if I want to keep reading it. I enjoy the volumes on their own, but again, as I keep reading, I'm just like, these are fine, but am I invested in the story? I also gave 4 stars to Oh My Sweet Alien, which is a bind-up omnibus of stories about an alien housewife. She like kidnaps her husband and like he's gonna be her first test person on the ship. And it's very, very funny, very cute. You definitely probably wouldn't want to marathon the whole book in one go, but you could. And it was just a very entertaining read. I also read volumes 1 through 5 of Spell of Desire, and I give the whole series a solid 4.5. I really, really enjoyed this. This is such a great witch-based romance book. It is complete, so that's really, really nice. And you can definitely tear through all 5 volumes pretty quickly. There is like some smut in there too, so that was a nice treat. And I did enjoy my time with it a lot, and I would like to read The Midnight Secretary by this mangaka as well. And then I gave a 3.5 to Bite Maker, which is the Omegaverse manga I'm trying, and I'm very, very curious about as well. Surprising no one, I'm sure, but yeah, this one was interesting enough that I'm gonna order volume 2 very soon. Like I'll pre-order volume 2 and read that, and 3 probably, and then make a determination, because this one definitely features heavy on the Omegaverse stuff, including things like just the weirdness, okay? Like it's very dirty also. Like there was a lot of like dirty talk in this, way more than I expected. So yeah, I'm curious to see where it goes. Now let's talk about the webtoons I read. So I did read 2 webtoons. One I got caught up on and one is complete. And I read these both on the Manta app, which is like $3.99 a month. So first up, I read Under the Oak Tree. These both are Korean translated mangas. Whatever they're called. They're webtoons. Under the Oak Tree is Maxine and Riften are our characters, and Under the Oak Tree, Maxine has a stutter. Her family is not great to her. She gets married off to Riften, who is like a knight who got a title for like slaying a dragon. He's this Hulk of a man. Here's like a snapshot of the art. I tweeted this and was like, sign me up. Sign me up. Anyways, beyond the point. It follows her marriage. They get married. He has to go away to go to battle. Then he comes back and he takes her to his castle, and it's all about her learning to be a lady of the castle, whatever, take care of it, and them falling in love. And it's very, very sweet, very, very cute. I'm loving it. I am loving it. Anxiously awaiting as the translations release on Manta. So yeah. Then I also read The Maid and the Vampire, which is a completed series. I do have a side story I can read for this still, but this was also really, really fun and cute. So she ends up hit by a car in current day, and then time travels back to a time when people with dark hair are considered vampires. And generally speaking, if you have dark hair, you're a vampire, to this land of like soul. And it's all about her being a maid for this vampire and them falling in love. And it's just precious. Like, he gets so embarrassed when he does things, and she's like sweet to him afterwards. And like when he tries to be sweet to her, he like, oh, it's just very, very pure, very cute, adorableness. Highly recommend checking this one out if you're curious about it. But yeah, that's everything I read in May. Even though I didn't read as much as April, I still read a lot. It's gonna be a busy summer reading because it's so hot out here that I just don't go outside, and instead I read in the house. Yeah, so that's everything I read. Let me know if you had a favorite book you read in May, and let me know what it is in the comments. And if you don't want to do that, leave me a fox emoji, because I'm in my Naruto shirt today, because I am a nerd. It's so cool. And if you want links to any of the books I talked about, there are links in the description box, including links to Right Stuff, where I buy most of my manga from. And I do get a slight affiliate commission if you buy from my links, so thanks so much if you do, and if you don't, that's totally fine too. You also find links to anywhere you can be my friend on the internet down there, and I will see y'all in just a few days.
Get away to a place where we don't know.